田中さん、私、田中さんのことが好き。俺も好きだよ。Hi, I'm Kaname. Why in Japanese the word for to like, suki, is an adjective? That is because when you fell in love, you had this feeling. Oh, I like this person a lot. When you say suki, you are describing the feeling you have. So when this person say, 田中さん、好き、好き I'm just describing the feeling that occur in my kokoro. Kokoro is where all the feeling occur. So I just use this word suki to describe the state of my kokoro. There are many adjectives like that, adjectives that describe the feeling or describe the kokoro. When I'm scared, I might say, 怖い. In English, you might say, I'm scared. It's more like objectively describing my own state. It's not like I'm directly expressing what I feel. But in Japanese, when I say 怖い, people don't say 私は怖い. That sounds weird. Just say 怖い because I'm simply expressing what I feel, describing the state of my kokoro. So I would just say 怖い. When you feel pain, you might say 痛い. 痛たたた、痛い、痛い. You're just expressing what you feel. In English, people might say ouch, but I don't think people would say pain, pain, or painful, painful. Sounds weird. You might say it's painful, but you don't use this word pain just like 痛い. So in Japanese, there are many adjectives that directly express or describe the feeling. So, suki is one of them. And here's one interesting point. When you use these words and express the feeling, you can only place yourself as subject. In other words, you cannot express someone else's feeling using these words. So I just said when I'm scared, I might say 怖い. Or you can say なんかこの部屋誰かいる感じする。私なんか怖い. That's fine. But say you are seeing some other people being scared. My son is scared of the darkness. And in this situation saying うちの息子暗いところが怖いです. It sounds weird. I can say うちの息子暗いところが怖いみたいなんですよねとか怖がっています. That's fine. I'm not directly expressing his feeling. But when I say うちの息子暗いところが怖いです. When I say 怖いです, it sounds like I'm directly expressing his feeling. And in Japanese, it would sound weird because I am not my son. How can I directly express his feeling? So in Japanese, when people say, I think, people would use 何々と思います. 思います is basically only used to talk about one's own feeling or what they think. I can say, ノンアルコールビールは美味しくないと思います. That's fine. I'm just stating what I think, but it would be weird if I say, 私の父はノンアルコールビールが美味しくないと思います. That sounds weird because 思います is only used to express your own feeling or what you think. It will be weird to talk about what other people think using 思います because you are not that person. You cannot know what he is exactly thinking. So when you want to objectively say that I think he is thinking that, Japanese people would use 思っています。父はノンアルコールビールが美味しくないと思っています。思っています is fine because I'm just telling what I observed. And ている is often used to talk about what you observed. So that is different from saying 思います. For the same reason, when you use those adjectives that describes the feeling, placing someone else as subject makes it sound very unnatural. Thai form of a verb is also an adjective that describes the feeling. When I say 行きたい, I'm describing this my feeling that I have of wanting to go somewhere. 行きたいです. So I can say ディズニーランドに行きたいです。But if I say うちの娘ディズニーランドに行きたいです sounds weird in Japanese. Because in Japanese, you cannot assertively describe someone else's feeling. You can speculate or you can observe. You can say, うちの娘ディズニーランドに行きたいみたいなんですよね。or うちの娘ディズニーランドに行きたがってます。うちの娘ディズニーランドに行きたい言ってるんですよ。That's fine. But just saying, うちの娘ディズニーランドに行きたいです sounds very unnatural in Japanese. Same with 欲しい。うちの息子、ニンテンドースイッチが欲しいです。Sounds weird. I'm not my son. How dare am I to directly expressing what he feel like that? So a Japanese native in this situation would say something like, うちの息子、ニンテンドースイッチ欲しがってるんですよ。だから買ってあげようと思っています。Oh, that's fine. But just saying, うちの息子、ニンテンドースイッチが欲しいです sounds weird in Japanese. There are many adjectives like that. 楽しい、嬉しい、苦しい、羨ましい、恋しい、妬ましい。All the same. 田中さん、昨日のパーティーどうだった？楽しかった？はい、すごく楽しかったです。That's fine because when Tanaka said, すごく楽しかったです, he's just expressing what he felt. But if I say what Tanaka had felt, even though Tanaka had told me that the party yesterday was so fun, but still it would be weird for me to say, 田中さんは昨日のパーティー楽しかったです. That sounds weird. A Japanese native would say something like, 田中さん、昨日のパーティーすごく楽しかったみたいですよ。or 田中さん、昨日のパーティーすごく楽しんでたみたいですよ。That's fine. 山田さん、はい、これ、プレゼント。これ、スノーピークのテントじゃん。うわー、これ欲しかったやつだ。本当に嬉しい。ありがとう。Here, 本当に嬉しい。This person just stating what this person felt. That's fine. But if I say, 山田さん、すごく嬉しかったです。That sounds very weird. In this situation, I would say, 田中さん、すごく喜んでいました。Instead of using 嬉しかったです。喜んでいました is fine because 喜ぶ is a verb and it's an action. Action of expressing your feeling of gladness. Someone gave me some present, I will say, ありがとう、すごい嬉しい. And you can obviously see that I'm happy. So this action of expressing my happiness is 喜ぶ. So I'm just objectively describing what Yamada was doing. Yamada was so happy after receiving her present. I just describes her state that time. 山田さんはすごく喜んでいました is fine, but saying 山田さんは嬉しかったです sounds very unnatural. But there are some ways that you can avoid directly expressing someone's feeling. For example, when I want to say to you that, you know what, Tanaka actually, he likes you. I want to tell you that Tanaka likes you. In Japanese, I might say it like this. 実は田中さん、あなたのことが好きなんですよ。Here, by saying 好きなんですよ, I actually avoided directly expressing his feeling. Because 好きなんですよ, なんです here is used to objectively state a fact. So it's like this. Actually, it is the case that I'm telling the truth that Tanaka likes you. I'm not directly stating what he feels, but more indirectly stating a fact that Tanaka likes you. I know it might sound confusing. Just remember that there are some ways you can make it indirect, and when you indirectly stating someone's feeling, in some cases it's fine. But in most of the cases, when you just say 好きです、怖いです、羨ましいです、嫌です、you use these words to talk about your own feeling. And I hate to tell you this. There are surely some exceptions. For example, this word 好きです can be used to directly express your own feeling. But you can also use this phrase, this word, to talk about your preference. For example, you can use 好き like this. 田中さんのお母さんにはとてもお世話になったので、今度何かご馳走しようと思ってるんですよ。お母さん、食べ物何が好きですか？うちの母は魚とか海鮮が好きです。Here, うちの母は魚とか海鮮が好きです is fine because I'm just talking about her preference. I'm not directly expressing her feeling to you. So when you use 好き in this sense, you can use 好きです to talk about others' feeling. ご主人は何か趣味とかあるんですか？うちの主人は釣りが好きです。That's fine because in this context, 好き is not used to directly express one's feeling. This person is just talking about the preference or what her husband likes to do. That's fine. I know it might be confusing. You can also say like this. 主人は松田聖子が大好きです。That's fine because in this context, 大好きです is used to say something equivalent to 主人は松田聖子の大ファンです。or 主人は松田聖子に夢中です。Because in this context, 大好きです is translated into something like that. It is not translated into him having some romantic feeling towards someone. It will be weird to say, 私の主人、うちのメイドが好きです。That's weird. I'm not saying this statement itself is weird. Well, yes, this statement is weird. But the reason why this sounds weird is because in this context, 好きです is translated into something like having some romantic feeling towards someone. And when you say, 主人はメイドが好きです、it sounds like I'm directly expressing what my husband thinks or feels. In Japanese, doing that is weird. A Japanese native would say in this situation, 主人、うちのメイドに惚れてるみたいなんですよ。No one would say, 主人、うちのメイドが好きです。That sounds extremely weird. もしもし、内藤探偵事務所です。もしもし、すいません。実はうちの旦那、うちで雇ってるメイドに惚れちゃったみたいなんですよ。なるほど。浮気調査ですね。わかりました。じゃあ調査しますので、ご主人の情報を教えてください。あなた、昨日の夜何やってたの？昨日の夜？俺言っただろ、昨日出張だからビジネスホテルに泊まるって。へえ、ビジネスホテルね。見て、こんなビジネスホテルあるんだ。なんかこれ、うちのメイドの鈴木さんの家みたいじゃない？それは、別の写真もあるのよ。あなたがその鈴木さんみたいな人とそのビジネスホテルに入っていくところが写ってる写真。ごめん。ごめんって何が？わかった。認めるよ。俺、浮気してたこと。そう。じゃあ私たちさっさと別れましょう。ちょっと待ってくれ。認めるよ。俺、鈴木さんといろいろあったこと。でも、俺が本当に好きなのは君なんだよ。好きだ。何言ってんの？そんなことしといて。いいから別れましょう、私たち。嫌だ。俺、君と別れたくない。やっぱり別れたくない。So in this example, this man said, 別れたくない。It is fine because he is just expressing what he felt. But it would be weird if this wife say, うちの旦那別れたくない or うちの旦那別れたくなかった。 In English, I think it would be okay to say, he doesn't want to break up with me, or he didn't want to break up with me. But in Japanese, saying, うちの旦那別れたくない、うちの旦那別れたくなかった sounds very weird. That is because you cannot express someone else's feeling directly. A Japanese person would say, 彼私と別れたくないって言ってた。or 彼私と別れたくなかったみたい。それでは皆さん、今日の動画はここまでです。待って先生、私先生と別れたくない。そんなこと言っても無駄よ。私分かってるの。みんなが他の日本語のチャンネルを見てるって。浮気してるの分かってるんだから。ということで皆さん、さようなら。